I'm going to start with a question to Wash about, you alluded to the phone call that you got from the producers. Can you maybe talk a little bit about how you got the project, and you and Richard wrote the screenplay, working with Lisa? I assume you worked with Lisa on the script as such?
Well, the phone call came out of the blue, and who gets phone calls anymore? It's always like an email or a text. Actually nice to pick up the phone and this whole door to this wonderful universe of new experience opened. We read the book, and we're going through some difficult circumstances ourselves. Very much were emotionally bowled over by the story, the beautiful book that Lisa wrote. And by the time we got to the end, we were just seeing the film. And we were seeing in the book, Alice has dark curly hair. And Richard said at one point, I think Alice should have red hair. So we had in our minds this vision for this movie. And we did the first draft, just taking the emotional template from the book, which was so beautifully worked out, and the incredible characters, and tried to work out how to do what the book does, which is get you into Alice's head by, using the camera and by using the way the story unfolds, so you're with her at every emotional moment. And then we sent off the first draft to Lisa, and we're nervous, because, it's her baby. We're like the foster parents. And no one could have been more wonderful, supportive, such an amazing cheerleader every step of the way than Lisa Genova. She's been 100% to this movie.
You capture Alice's decline so well, I thought, in the film. You did it just brilliantly. Can you talk a little bit about that? Was that the direction? Is that just the brilliance of Julianne?
It's everything in the movie is supporting Julie's performance, everything. The way the costumes worked, the way the production design worked, the way the camera goes out of focus so you perceive the way she's perceiving. Everything is supporting Julie's performance and the incredible ensemble performance of the cast, who put together this incredible family dynamic and brought so much life and vitality to the story. I guess Alice is still the center of the movie.
Brilliant. Anyone in the audience? The lady over here.
I just want to comment. I spent 35 years dealing with people who had Alzheimer's disease related to dementia, including those with early onset. And one of the things I noticed in the credits was that you spent time with people who have early onset dementia. How difficult was that?
The question the lady was asking, she was talking about how she's spent a lot of time with people with Alzheimer's and early onset as well in the last 35 years, and how the group here sort of researched and spent their time learning about it as well.
It was incredibly gratifying for me. I was really bowled over by the generosity of everyone that I spoke to. Honestly, literally every person involved, from the Alzheimer's Association all the way down to all of the researchers, the clinicians, the patients, people who had just been diagnosed. I had Skype calls with women all across the country who had been diagnosed within a year or 5 years. I spent time with some support groups. I went to a long-term care facility. I met a lot of caretakers and family members. And what I was struck by was how willing and how generous everyone was in their communication about disease, what it was like to live with it. What was most moving was hearing people trying to articulate what it felt like to no longer have the cognitive functions they had once counted on at their fingertips. So when you watch someone struggle to articulate those things to you when they've lost their articulation, it's an immense amount of feeling and also an immense amount of trust on their part, to try to communicate that to me. So I will forever be grateful to everyone that I met, and it was an amazing experience for me, honestly.
Another question from the audience. Gentleman over here in the front.
For Ms. Moore, I've just been a huge fan for 25 years of watching her movies, and this is, I think, the crown jewel in her career. I think it was a grand slam home run. Can I shake your hand and just say
Alzheimer's Association member. Is progress being made? I mean, it's such a sad story. We've all lived with it, the old people. Is progress being made?
The question is about Alzheimer's and is progress being made?
I'm happy to say that, and especially in light of films like this, what this does is help propel people to engage in this disease. And one of the challenges we have with Alzheimer's disease, as most diseases has, is of course funding, federal funding for research. And that's what Alzheimer's, alongside cancers, heart disease, all the diseases of our time, really suffer from, is the lack of funding. But the hope is actually there. All of the neurologists, all the sciences, certainly that Julianne spoke with and met with, talk about the future and what the future looks like. And it's right there. It's really a race to the cure, and the cure is about funding and really engaging the public. And the terrific thing is to take a book like Still Alice and make it into a movie like this for audiences